Hello.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Oh, we have a lot I forgot that so much has happened.
There's so much we have to talk because I have so many emotions.
Yeah, me
And
too.
like some of them are great emotions, and some of them are just like, God damn, go
Yeah,
home.
yeah, I know.
Like your camera's off.
No, yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, it's
But
just we'll talk about this. It's just like ugh.
yeah, I
It's
guess
not even like gameplay. It's just like some people.
yeah,
This is now the third week where people have asked to leave the game because they just like don't feel like playing anymore.
yeah,
And whether it's worked or not, I don't care. But it's the fact that like this is All Stars and we asked you for a reason, and there are people that are itching to play the game that we had to deny, and you're gonna ask to leave for 3 weeks in a row. And don't get me wrong, I get that it's hard, and I understand that it's hard, and I'm okay with you being upset that it's hard. But don't complain to the people that spent 3 months on the game that you want to leave the game because it sucks.
yeah.
Everyone don't do that.
And we have big cheating scandal to go over.
Yeah, big cheating. And that's oh god, we have so much to talk
I
about.
forgot that our last rankings was before the David eviction, and
Yeah, it's been a while since we talked. A lot has happened. Bella's gone home and then come back.
yeah. So we didn't do a rankings last week because we were booked and everything. So what's gonna happen tonight is we'll go through each person in this order that's on the screen. Before I give my rankings, I will give our collective ranking that we have decided on before this
Kind of like our reasoning of like what happened briefly.
for week 7, and then we'll each give our ranking for week 8 for that average too. Yeah,
I guess let's just get started. No use in summarizing the feelings when we're gonna go in depth into the
yeah,
feelings.
yeah, we are. Um, okay.
Starting off with a banger.
Okay. So Bella in
Bella.
6, finished with a 4.5. I don't know. I gave her a 4. You, what happened?
In week 6, this is the week that David was going home. She got it's feeling. Give me one moment. Sorry.
It's okay.
She got a 4 from me and a 5 from Steven.
Yeah. Okay. So for week 7, we decided to give her a collective average of 2.5 because she was going home, you know.
She went home.
Yeah, she went home, but at the time when we would have been ranked, she was going home. As for this week, she came back. She's HOH. She's getting out probably her biggest um threat to her.
She's getting out the person that got her out last week.
Yeah, it's the same exact scenario actually. Um, but I still think that she's not looking good. I think she's bound to go out again very soon. People are already talking about it again. So, um, so she was at a 2.5. We just gave her that. Since she did some good things for her this week, um, I'm gonna go up to a 5.
Alrighty, Stephen goes up to a 5 for Bella. So last week
I'm gonna
I
give
gave Bella a 2 because she was going home. However, she did come back, and I will say in the battle back after the kerfuffle of the pre-jury reuniting with the house, which is a whole other kitten caboodle. Um, I was very happy that Bella returned.
yeah,
Going into it, and as the competition went on, I was personally rooting for Bella or Grace. They were the two that I really wanted to come back. I would have loved to see some other people. I would have loved to see Dan. Kate would have been interesting. Hayes would have been interesting. But Grace and Bella were the two that were like, hope was one of them. Um, and when she did come back, it was a triumphant win. She won. Um, this is the third time she's won this competition, so like she knew what she was doing, and she made a great move this week. If this was how like well executed you could have pulled off a move, you put up two targets, one of them came off. You put up a pawn that you're not aligned with, and your target's most likely going home. There is a power at play, which we'll get to. But I think it's gonna be null and void because they have the same agenda. So I'm also going up on Bella to a 5, but I will because I do think while she is still a huge target, without Luke leading the Bella's the worst train, I think some before Bella and Ross were like the only targets, and I think that's far from true now. So I think she has a little bit of wiggle room, so that's good.
All right, so Bella finishes with a 5 this week. Bella's jumping up and down a
Ooh,
little bit.
look, zigzagged up and down, up and down. Holy crap!
Yeah, when are we talking about the whole?
I think we wait for Mr. 550.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right. So Bella finishes the 5 this week. On to Luke. For week 6, he finished with a 5.
Yes, he got a 5 from both of us for the week that David was going home. I'm pretty sure he got a 5 from both of us the week that he was HOH and sent home Bella.
Yeah, we gave him a 5. For last week when he was HOH and he got his main target out. Unfortunately, it kind of flipped around. So for last week, Luke finished with a 5. So that at least been going in kind of a straight line for a while. Okay. Oops. For this week, Luke is on the block, probably going home. Not a very great week for Luke. I think he was confident he could win the veto, and then he didn't, and
He was 6 seconds off.
he was close. And if it wasn't Luke, I am not convinced that it wouldn't have been Juliana. So
I think it very well could have been Juliana, but I think if it's Juliana versus Reza,
more interesting.
Actually goes.
You think so?
I think with the power combined with, I think Caitlyn, Julia, Alex, James, Maeve, that's 5 right there who want to keep Juliana. I think even Emma is inclined to keep Juliana, which leaves only Erin, Anthony, and Ross who want to vote her out. And with 3 votes being canceled, I think Juliana's a lock to stay against Reza.
But anywho.
But that's even if Reza went up.
Yeah. Luke is not looking good. Most people actually just don't like him right now in general. Yeah, you rolled your eyes. But like, yeah, it's kind of the exact same thing he did last week, and it was just unfortunate for him. I mean, I have to give it's literally the same exact thing that happened last week. So I'm gonna give Luke a 3. That's what I gave Bella last week.
Yep. I'm gonna give Luke what I gave Bella last week, which is a 2. And that's only because he is going home. Because Luke did do like everything right.
Mm-hmm.
He gun for the veto. He campaigned well. I just think too many people didn't want him in. I will sing Luke's praises though, because Luke came into the season wanting to play the game. The cards were stacked against him, and he still fought tooth and nail to stay in the game. And Pete, like, again, like, not to, it's just like, it's so one-sided, where it's like, yes, like, this season has very much turned out to be, like, Bella and Ross versus the remaining season 3. And they're constantly going at each other. Where Bella and Ross will say all this stuff about Luke or Grace or Juliana or whoever it may be. And then in turn, Juliana and Luke and Grace and whoever it may be will say things about Bella and Ross. And that itself just makes it all toxic and not fun. But like the difference is Luke, for one, most of what he says is just his personality, and people just have an issue with that. So that's an issue in itself. I'm not saying you have to love everyone. I'm just saying remember that everything you say is getting exposed. And 2 is like Luke flat out went to Bella this week and said, "Look, I know things have been tense and we've been at each other's throats and it's been super competitive, and that like I've been unhappy with the game. But I just want you to know, like, no, if any of it came off personal, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Know that none of it was personal, and like we still cool. And Bella goes, "You are forgiven." And I'm like, "That's great that you forgave him, but like, Miss, you said all this stuff too." It's like she like they really believe that like it's like a god complex, and it's like, guys, there's not the least. It's all I'm not doing anything, and they're doing it all. It's like, no, it's a very much a two-way street. And as much as season 3 is accountable too, they've at least owned it up and they've apologized, and you have it. So, highest praises to Luca of how he's handled the whole thing. But I think he is ready to go home, and I would be ready to go home too. But he fought, he stayed, and I've just gone up. I think Luke's okay with going home, but he did fight to stay, and that like I applaud him for everything that he's done. But yeah, it's a 2 for me.
All right, so Luke finishes with a 2.5 this week. Wow, that is really funny. They literally switched spots.
Yeah, because we gave them the same exact rankings,
Yeah.
just gave Bella's to Luke and Luke's to Bella.
Yeah. Okay, Reza. So we decided on a 5 for Reza or I'm sorry, what would he finish with?
Reza finished with a 5 and a 5.
Okay, yeah. So for week 7, we gave Bella a 5 for our rankings.
Reza.
That's what I meant. We gave Reza a 5 for our rankings. This week, he's on the block again, not going home, as we assume. I don't know. I feel like I keep waiting for Reza to like turn it on, but like I'm kind of just turning the key in the ignition and the car's just not starting.
Yeah, I will. I'm waiting for that moment too, and I'm thinking back to season 3 when it happened, and it would have been actually after the overnight check-in competition, which for them was the final 11.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
I'm,
it's not awful.
I'm giving Reza like a couple more weeks before I say, okay, he's not going to do anything. But yeah, you go.
I guess like, but I know Reza is someone who has the capability of doing something when he needs to. So think I'm just gonna stay at a 5.
And I'm exactly in the same place. Reza's done nothing to necessarily show that he's in a worse position. He's done nothing to necessarily show that he's in a better position. So like Reza right now is at like a resting mood point.
Mm-hmm.
And I do predict that he will spike up if he doesn't get screwed over before he does. And luckily for him, like he has campaigned this week, but like he's never been put in a position on the block where he's actually had to fight to stay. Yeah. So like I give him a pass, and he has checked in with people, but I worry that soon it might bite him. But I really don't see it happening too soon.
I would love for Reza to win the next HOH. I think that could be interesting.
I think that would be interesting.
Okay, so Reza finishes with a 5 again. Okay. All right, on to Alex.
Finally, positivity in the world.
For week 6, he finished with a 7.5. And for week 7, we decided to give him a 7.
We went down, yeah. I gave Alex a 7 in week 6, and Steven gave Alex an 8. Mm-hmm. And then last week we were both at a 7.
Yeah. So for this week, I think Maeve and Alex have only grown stronger. Maeve getting the power is great for him. She's going to use it to his advantage as well as hers. Like I'm trying to think, I haven't really seen anyone be like, Alex is a threat, he needs to go. Or the only time what do you?
No one's said Alex is a threat. I will say that Anthony and Erin.
They're saying like James and Alex.
James and Alex aren't trustworthy.
Yeah, it's always James and Alex, but I'm hoping.
Now, to be fair, they've said that about.
Yeah, they're paranoid.
And they said it about Luke, and they said it about Julia, and they've said it about Julia. Like they've said it about pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Except Emma.
Like, so, I don't
like how much that means, but like
I don't think that he's in any real danger.
Rocco Spadea is asking us to join a FaceTime call.
He's not asking me.
Oh, that's awkward.
Should he be our little guest?
No, because it's a large group. It's like Aiden and I don't know what group it's for.
It's my Christmas present. Um,
Oh, I think it was an X because now it's nowhere to be seen. I don't know.
okay. Um, so Alex this week, I gave him 7. Um, I think I'm gonna go back up to an 8 for my ranking.
Alex goes back up to an 8 for Steven. I am so torn whether to give him a 7 or an 8. Because like his gameplay this week, in terms of keeping it a secret and keeping in good contact with Anthony, Aaron, Juliana, Luke, he's really right now, he and Maeve are super tight, and he and Reza are super tight. Alex has been really good at picking up on like who has a number one ally and who doesn't, and the people who don't, he's like, aha, pick me.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that he intends to go to the end with Maeve as of right now. But if Maeve somehow gets cut, I think it's a very switch to intends to go with Reza. And I
Uh-huh.
think there are two amazing options for
Yeah.
him and amazing options for the good of the season. I would love to see any three of them win, assuming Reza picks it up at the end. So for all those reasons, I would go up to an 8, especially because he still does talk to Bella and he talks to Anthony and Aaron and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
then also like his name has been tossed out a little bit, so like I'm hesitant to go up to an 8 because I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibilities for him to not go home. But I would be surprised. I'm gonna stay at my 7. I am still a little worried, but I hope and assume that he will go up.
All right, so Alex finishes with a 7.5 for this week. He's bouncing up and down too. Okay. Moving on to Anthony Ventrusco.
Anthony
So what
Ventresca,
did he
he
finish
had
with?
a long ride at the top. Anthony had a week 6, had a 9 from me, and an 8 from Steven. And if I'm not mistaken, both gave him 7s.
We agreed on 7 for him. Yes. So for this week, I don't even like. I don't. That's so lost.
I know exactly where I'm going if you want me to go first.
Yeah, you can go first. I'm gonna take this.
Okay. So Anthony has always been a good player at like acknowledging every angle of like, okay, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. Which was great before. Now we're reaching to a point in the game where people are realizing how sporadic he is, how in the middle he is, how wild cardy he is, and how much of a liar he is. Because now he's lied consistently to both sides, where he lied to Bella saying that he was going to keep her last week and then didn't, and then this week he did it to Luke, and now people have picked up on it and they're not happy about it. Plus, this week with the voting scandal, they very much know, at least the side of Alex, Juliana, Maeve, James, etc., Luke, Reza, they know that Anthony and Aaron were campaigning hard for Bella. They did not hide it well at all in the slightest, and they got caught. And they don't
Oh yeah.
trust them.
When we get to Aaron, we'll talk. We can talk about that more.
Yeah. So I think now you have that side going, oh, Anthony's not with us. He's with Bella. We need to target him soon. And then on the flip side, Bella and Ross are like, Anthony's consistently lying to people. He's in the middle of everyone. He needs to go soon. So do I think he's the next name up on the top of the list of targets? No. Do I think he has maintained his status of under the radar style in the middle? No. So 2 weeks ago I gave him a 9. Last week I gave him a 7. This week I'm giving him a 6. And I predict it will go down more next week, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, I do agree that he is kind of should have picked a side by now to run with.
That's exactly it. He's 2 before the paranoia was good, and now he's flip flopping back and forth, and it's clear as day. He's not hiding it. Well,
So I was also at a 7 last week. I will also go down to a 6 to give him a 6, but I'm not confident that it will keep going down. So we'll see about that.
yeah, I'm not confident that he'll plummet per se, but like I think it's gonna. He has work to put in to pick himself back up. And the problem is that's possible when you realize you're in that position,
I
but
don't
he
think.
has no idea.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
And I don't really know if he has the support depending on who he's against.
Yeah. Emma last week, or sorry, for week 6, finished with a 4.5, a 5 from me, and a 4 from Scott, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for week 7, we both gave her 2s because she was asking.
He was on the block and asking to go home and failed to go home.
Yeah. This week, Emma, I feel like also hasn't been shown that much. She's kind of been in the shadows more. I mean, like she usually is, but like I feel like certain weeks we see Emma like kind of come out a little more, and I don't think this was one of those weeks.
Emma does well at being an active player when she's on the block.
Yeah.
She's good at like socially saying like, "Hi,
Yeah.
don't vote me out," or "Hi, vote me out."
Yeah.
People then and winning. I actually now like winning comps when she needs to. She's won a veto. She's won an HVV. Like she's done some stuff. But the problem is, Emma only plays when she
Yeah.
has to. And as far as leading to another win, I think it's unless you have a bitter jury, I don't know who gives Emma another win.
I would have really liked to see last week her say like, if like to everyone, be like, if you don't vote me out, I'm gunning for HOH from now on, and I'm going to evict you. I think that could have worked to evict her.
Like that, or saying like, "Listen, I want Bella to stay. I'm not going to campaign against her. Do what you think is best, but know that like, but like there was kind of like an in between. Like, hi, if you could do this for me, like
Yeah.
you need to either pick the I'm gunning for you or pick the I'm just not going to say anything." And it
Yeah.
was still in the middle, and people were just like, "No, we're not voting you out, Emma." No one had a reason to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people should have voted out Emma over Bella.
No, they absolutely should not have.
Um, so we'll see about that. But I mean, considering she wasn't on the block this week, and considering that she didn't try to go home this week, I will move up to a 3.
Yeah, I have to go up on Emma too, just because like she's not on the block or asking to go home anymore. And don't get me wrong, like we've talked to Emma, and Emma gets a pass as far as like not playing. Like we're not like Emma's not playing. That's bad. Like I'm absolutely not upset that Emma is not the most active player. That's not what we're saying.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
She absolutely gets the pass there, but I am still going to rank her
Yeah, like a game player. Yeah.
where like it's the game and
Yeah,
how she's playing. So while it's like, yeah, we're not angry by any sense of the mean at Emma of all people,
Yeah.
I will also debating between a 3 and a 4. I'm gonna give her a 4, just because I feel like she's in a similar position as other people, but it's just kind of being gifted to her. She's not really doing anything to get herself there.
So Emma finishes with a 3.5 this week. And now moving on to Erin.
Yes, Aaron Donaher.
So Erin finished with in week 6 an 8. We both gave
Eight
her.
from both of us.
Yeah. For week 7, we decided to give her a 7, and now we are on week 8 this week. Yes, this was not
This was a bad week for Aaron.
very bad week for Erin. Because yeah, she openly. I don't think Anthony did this as much.
Anthony did not do it as much publicly.
Yeah, he didn't get caught. Erin was openly in other group chats campaigning for Bella to win the power. Kind of like
The exact track record of what happened was, so the class of 2020 have a group chat,
a personal group.
like a personal non-Big Brother group chat, and Erin, as well as Bella and Ross, but like Weeben knew that they were together.
Yeah.
Erin specifically says, "Vote for Bella, vote for Bella, vote for Bella," and Chris Zach, season 3 House Guest Chris Zach, was like, no, Luke is my boy. Luke, who is not in this group chat.
Yeah.
Different social circle. But Chris is like, nah, Luke's my boy. I've already voted for Luke. Chris somehow tells Luke, like, ah, yeah, I voted for
No.
you. But Aaron, or like Bella and Ross and Aaron are heavily saying vote for Bella. And Luke is like, Aaron is. Well, Aaron's supposed to be on my side. She got caught, and no one trusts her. No one trusts her. Even to the point now where Luke spread this information to Reza, to Juliana, to Alex. Juliana said if she gets HOH, Aaron and Bella are going on the block. And if it's left between the two of them, might
Yeah.
say, Aaron, Bella's an enemy that I know,
Yeah.
Aaron's an enemy that I don't. And it's easier to have your eye on a clear, like you know what's in front of you, stabbing in the front, rather than having someone secretly working behind you, stabbing you in the back. And for her, that is smart because Aaron will send home Juliana.
I almost want Aaron to win HOH next week.
Aaron needs to win HOH next week. And
Yeah.
Aaron and Anthony both. And the thing is, I think they still think they're in the middle. And when you think you're comfortable and you're not, that's only going to lead to bad things.
She needs to start winning soon because she's been kind of hiding in the shadows in a good way for a while, but it's time to end that. And I think it's time to bring back Aaron.
I also think Luke has not gone home yet. If/when Luke does, he is calling out Aaron, first of all, and also calling out our next topic, James, saying, 2 winners, strategically amazing, playing everyone in the middle, but haven't been up. What's up with that? Leaving chat. That's what I think is going to happen, what he said he's going to do. So we'll see if it does. But I think people have clocked Aaron, and they've clocked James too, but we'll get to him. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. I don't think that Anthony did as... I think Anthony is in a worse position for other reasons. So I feel like I have to go lower on Aaron than Anthony. I'm only going to go down to a 5, however.
I'm giving her a 5 as well.
Okay. So Aaron finishes with a... Oh, not that. Aaron finishes with a 5 average this week. And there's that. A lot of people finish on a 5. Yeah, a lot of people going down, too.
That seems to be the overall trend. People go down.
If you look at anybody's line, like, barely anybody is consistent. Like, it is all over the place.
Yeah, it is very all over the place.
And I this is funny because the last rankings that we did together on video, I said, I want to see how many weeks in a row I can say nobody's coming after Aaron and be surprised by it. And it ended finally. So
just a little update on what's happening.
Oh, God.
Julia is very firmly voting to keep Luke and vote out Reza. I think Caitlyn is now considering it as well.
Oh, and if Maeve blocks the wrong votes?
Juliana is going to vote to keep Luke. If one person casts a hinky vote, possibly James, if Maeve cancels the wrong votes, Luke could theoretically stay. Do I think it's going to happen? I really don't. Now it's possible if Maeve cancels the wrong votes that Luke could theoretically stay, which is very interesting.
Or it can be close in general, which is.
I think it is going to be a close vote. I do think she is planning the people that I think.
Well, no, she's going to cancel Juliana.
She is. Is she canceling Juliana? Yeah, she's canceling Juliana. I think she's canceling Alex.
Yeah.
And I would assume either Anthony, Aaron, Julia, or Caitlyn.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting.
It could be a close vote.
Okay. So James, on to James Bowl. James finished
got a 6 from Steven. Sorry, a 6 from me and a 5 from Steven.
In week 6.
In week 6 with David.
And we both gave him 5s for week 7. So for this week, hold on 1 second. Let me update here. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first.
I'll give my ranking first.
For me, James was in a position of everybody trusts James. I have James as an ally. I can talk to him, and he was good about feeding things back. Now, weeks later, we're in a position of nobody trusts James. I don't think James has a single actual loyal ally. which is horrible.
He's alone.
Even worse, he's proud and on about how he's running the game still. This is not season 4 anymore, little James. This is not the world where you can talk to someone and they have an alliance with you.
Yeah.
This is now. I don't think anyone trusts James. I don't think James realizes the trouble that he's in. But I will say, like, Juliana doesn't trust James, but for a lot of people, he's like the fly they can get rid of later.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping him out of the way for now, and we'll get rid of him after our bigger fish to fry are gone. Because I don't think anyone, maybe except for Alex, which is funny because James thinks Alex is number one. I don't think anyone necessarily targets James next week, but no one is going to be like, James, what should I do? James is no longer in a position where he's running the game, and he still thinks he is, and that's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. It's the
So
same. The fact that he doesn't know that.
the fact that he doesn't know,
He doesn't know. It's the same thing as it was with Juliana and Kate and
knowing where you're at is so
Yeah.
important. Whether you know you're at the top or you know you're at the bottom, because at least then you know how to move forward and
That's
maintain.
why like paranoia isn't always the worst.
Paranoia is not always the worst. Paranoia can get you far if it keeps you thinking and on your tone.
Thanks, Leah.
But James is not actively thinking, how do I keep these allies? I don't think. I think he thinks I have these allies and I'm coasting through the game still.
Uh-huh.
And he got worried for a sec that, oh, Bella came back. Crap, this is now where I screw up. And Bella did a good job at, and this is also at the advice of Ross, of like, Bella, you just got voted out 9-1. People are going to want you out again. What you need to do is you need to pick the people that you're nominating, tell them you're nominating them, and tell everybody else, don't worry, it was the majority. I'm still with you. Even if you're lying, you need these people to think that they're not coming after you. And she did that. And now not many people are necessarily coming after Bella, but James thinks he's like fine with Bella. That's not the case. James easily could have been a pawn this week next to Juliana.
Probably would have gone home.
If Luke was being backdoored this week and James and Juliana were the nominees, assumably Juliana still wins the veto. But if it's James versus Luke, I think that James could be leaving. He has no idea, and that's so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Where are you going?
So we gave him a 5 for last week. I mean, I think a middle spot is good for him right now. I'm gonna say my 5.
I'm gonna say my 5 too, because I don't think he's necessarily gotten worse in the past.
I think 5 is a good middle for him.
Like he
determine where he goes.
Like granted, now he is in the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna start winning competitions now, but he's not in that mindset for the right reasons, I don't think. So like that's a little worrisome.
We have a lot of people at 5s this week. Oops.
Yeah, it's a very weird time in the game where it's like depending on who wins HOH, it's so dependent on who goes home.
Yeah. Julia, okay. So for week 6,
you got a 3 from me and a 4 from Steven.
Finished with a 3.5. For week 7,
you got a 4 from me and a 5 from Steven.
So we are at a 4.5 for last week. Here's the thing. We were giving Julia, and I guess we're going to take Caitlin into this too, but we were giving Julia and Caitlin crap about, just going with the majority, doing what they're doing, not really thinking about it being sheep. But like, as they explain it more and as the game goes on, like they really were just doing what was best for their own game. Like Caitlin explained it, she was like, every single vote, every single person I voted out or I wanted to vote out was beneficial for my own game. And she broke it down. And even, I mean, I know we're not on Caitlin right now, but even Caitlin's texting and thinking about like, why would I vote out Luke? Like, I think Luke could be good for me, as opposed to Reza. Oh, Aaron's talking. Okay. Yeah. For Julia, I am gonna stay at my 5. I'm staying at my 5. I'm staying at my 5.
Sorry, you're going where?
I'm staying at my 5.
Okay. Yeah, 2 weeks ago I was at a 3 for Julia, and that was the position where Anthony and Aaron were constantly saying Julia is that middle piece that we need to take out.
Yeah.
Last week Julia I think went up. This week I think she went up again, and I think her and Caitlin are now. I won't say that they weren't being sheep before, because I do think it's possible to do what's best for your game and still be a sheep.
Okay.
But I will say in the recent, and that just meaning like I don't necessarily think Caitlin and Julia were driving necessarily what they wanted.
Yeah.
More so, they're gonna vote as they, and as the weeks have gone on, and as the alliance has, the big Dan's biggest mistake alliance has broken up, they have
Yeah.
absolutely played for their own, and their scores are going up because of it. And I think now they're in a position where like they see, we don't want to be tied to Ross and Bella.
Mhm.
We don't want to be tied to Aaron and Anthony. I think
They're
we
gonna
want
be
to keep Luke
crucial.
around. Luke has been good for my game. We want to keep. I think they're most tied to Juliana. So that that's a good place to be, and I don't think anyone's looking at them anymore. So I was at a 3 2 weeks ago. I was at a 4 last week. I'm going up to a 5 this week, and I hope, yeah, another 5, right? I hope and I do think that they can continue the upward trend, especially as they start to, the numbers dwindle. If they're still here, they can maybe pick things up again. But my biggest worry, in my opinion, a 5 is the worst place to be for a double eviction,
Yeah, that could be true.
because a 5 either means you're someone who thinks you're comfortable, who are people are waiting to take out, or you're still a sort of in the middle, not controlling the game, expendable. And we're not at a double next week, but the following week we are. And I think you need to get out of that 5 zone if you don't want to be thrown up as an easy pawn on a double. And I think she can, but we're not there yet.
I think that those two are gonna start to be crucial votes.
I think they already are crucial
They're gonna
votes.
be swing votes for
People need them in the game, and they need them on their side, and that's a great place to be in.
I don't mind them anymore.
I don't mind them anymore either. No, I predict and hope that they will continue to go up in my rankings. Here's the other thing. We've said a lot that Caitlin and Julia are in the past have been like a little bit following the crowd, which again isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just not
Mhm.
power playing in the beginning, which is in all honesty how you should play Big Brother in the beginning. But through it all, and I love the two of them for it, have been the most.
Yes, yeah.
I don't care if you're not playing the game like the mastermind, but they're consistently playing the game. They're enjoying the game. They're being nice about the game. They're being strategic about the game. And they're letting us know that, like, thanks for doing this.
Like, thank you. We're having fun. Like,
This is fun. I like that comp. I feel bad that people cheated. I don't like how people are joking about how they cheated. That doesn't sit right with me. And they're telling us this. And we're like, I love them for that. I
Yeah.
love them. Do I think they deserve to win? No. But if they turn it on, and they do, I would be happy with these people winning.
like in either of in seasons 1 or 2, I would not have been happy with Caitlin and Julia winning around this time. This would have been
Exactly.
this would
Well,
have been
no. I would have been happy with Caitlyn winning season 1 at this
at
point.
this time. I do not. I not me. She really still was not.
At this point, she had won the HOH and targeted Bella and Ross. Granted, it failed, but she had started picking sides.
I mean, like this was the week that she did it.
Um,
It was final 13.
I'm talking about like position jury, because there was also 8.
You know what I mean? Like around this time, I would have not have.
Yeah.
But when they were evicted, like both of them were probably one of my favored winner picks.
They were the
Aaron was
underdogs
Julia,
of their
but
season, and I would love to have them start winning and making moves.
I think they're on a similar road as they were in their original.
And that's not a bad place to be, because either of them could have won their season in the right circumstances.
Yeah.
Caitlyn more so than Julia, in my opinion.
Well, if Julia didn't make that move to get rid of Maggie, I think she was in a much better position.
Exactly. Oh, that's so true.
And then Matt winning BB Comics and taking out David.
Yeah, it's one little thing goes differently, and I think Julia and Caitlyn could have been the reigning champions. But that also goes for a lot of people. So like I literally like I adore these people. They're consistently positive. They're consistently nice. They're consistently saying like going to the season 3 people and saying like, hey, look, just so you know, like this is how Bella's feeling about it. And like we'll go to Bella occasionally and be like, hey, just so you know, like this isn't coming off great.
Yeah.
Whether or not they listen or not is fine. But like they're actively doing it, they actively see it, they're actively enjoying it, and they make us like this is why we do it.
Can we just do Caitlyn right now too?
We'll do Caitlyn right now too. I'm going up to a 6 for Caitlyn because I think she is
Oh,
doing.
okay, wait. So for week 6, Caitlyn was at a
Well,
uh
this is Julia first. Oh, sorry.
yeah, week
Did you?
6 she was at a 5. Caitlyn in week 7 we also gave her a 5.
Yeah.
Um I will also I'm gonna go up to a 6 too because I think she is more active and more participating than Julia, and I think she's more involved. So I think since I gave Julia a 5, I will give Caitlyn a 6.
And I also think people see Julia as the more expendable, for lack of a better term. I don't think that's exactly what the word I'm looking for, but I think of the two of them to be like, oh, we can get rid of one. I think they get rid of Julia first.
Yeah.
And not that that's bad because I don't see anyone doing that right now. So I think that these girls have a good track in front of them.
Mhm. Okay. So Caitlyn finishes. One second. Caitlyn finishes with a 6 for this week. To refresh. Okay. And she goes up. She's one of the, I guess not the few people to go up this week, but definitely a lot of people going down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can backtrack to Juliana now.
Yeah.
Juliana finished with a 5 or 5.5.
Yes. On the week that David was going, it was a 5 from me, a 6 from Steven.
And then Juliana got a 6 from both of us for week 7.
And in the context there, that was when Bella was going home and was theoretically out of the game, and she could have gotten Dan, Kate,
Yeah.
or Grace back. So she could be in a lot better position right now. Unfortunately, Bella came back 1 HOH and is targeting her. So it's been a roller coaster for Juliana.
You can go first on Juliana.
I'm certainly lowering my score because people are hardcore coming for her.
And also, she was on the block this week. She had to fight to win the veto.
Block this week, exactly. She won the veto by 6 seconds, but she did win the veto. Bella can't win, but if she could, would go after Juliana. Ross goes after Juliana. Anthony goes after Juliana. I think even Erin goes after Juliana. And to be people's number one targets is never a good place, especially when it's 4 people's number one targets. Not great. That being said, I think there are a lot of people that want her and don't need her. Alex, Maeve, Julian, Caitlyn, Reza, like they want Juliana around. So it depends very much on who wins.
I think that she could see the block on eviction night, but I think that against the right person, she has the votes to stay.
Exactly. Against the right person, she has the votes to stay.
But I do think she's nominated, depending on who wins.
But yeah, so she's certainly in a precarious position. Last week, what did I give her, a 6?
Yeah.
I certainly have to lower my score.
I'm only going to go to a 5.
We're going to a 5.
Because Juliana's a scrappy player, I think. And I think that she has some tricks up her sleeve. Oh, I did not mean to do that. So I'm going to go to 5.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking theoretically, if Ross wins HOH, or if Erin wins HOH, like I do think against the right person, she has the votes to stay. But I think the right person is Reza or Luke or James. Luke's now out of the game. I doubt Reza will be the initial nominee. And I worry that she's next to someone like Alex, and then it becomes very tough. Because, oh God, this is now crazy. Because I think Julie and Caitlin want to vote out Alex, but I think Maeve and Reza want to vote out Juliana. And I think James would want to vote out Juliana, but I think Emma would want to vote out Alex.
You have like 10 minutes, just so you know.
Oh yeah, we should go. Oh God, this is tough. I think Hermione is also out of it and she has to fight. I don't know. I'm deciding between a 5 and a 4, and I'm looking at what other people have. I'm gonna give her a 4.
Okay.
But I think like a 5 is still certainly an adequate score. I just think that of all the people that have a 5, I think I worry for her the most because she's been consistently fighting from the bottom up. Granted, she knows she's fighting from the bottom up, and knowing where you're at again is so important. Because I think if like James or Aaron or Anthony land on the block, they're almost kind of screwed because they didn't prepare for it. So we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, moving on to Maeve. Maeve last week finished with, or sorry, for week 6, finished with a 7.5.
Yeah, 7 from me, 8 from Steven.
And then what were the scores from? What did you give her? Because she finished with a 6.5 for week 7. Who gave her the 7? Who gave her the 6?
I probably gave her a 6 because I went down 1.
And I went down 1 too. Okay. So Maeve for week 7 gets a 6.5. Maeve Haggerty, I will never stop hyping this girl up.
Maeve, I adore her. I adore her so much.
Yeah. And I think like no one's like Maeve Haggerty needs to go.
Literally, my favorite line was from Anthony, and this sums it up beautifully. I have no idea what Maeve Haggerty is doing in this game. Not we need to go after Maeve. Not Maeve is a wild card, but just acknowledging that she's there. Because the thing is, like, Erin will talk to her and think that she has a good relationship. Bella will talk to her and think they have a good relationship. She has a great relationship with Caitlin. She has a great relationship with Alex and Juliana and James. She's very well individually connected, and a lot of people will say, no, there are other people that should be targeted before Maeve. Maeve is in a wonderful position, and adding praises to praises is a consistently positive, happy player that we want to see do well because they're not being mean or rude or complaining, and they're fun in the diary room, and they're playing hard, and they have alliances, and they're winning competitions, and it's fun to watch. And we're not angry at the people that are making it not fun and arduous and annoying. She's not one of those people.
Yeah,
I love Maeve.
I love Maeve so much. Yeah. There are many outcomes I want to see for the season. One of them, depending on how the rest of it goes, is Maeve winning. I would
love to see Alex or Maeve win. They're the two people that currently the most that I want to win the season.
And it sucks because she's like, everyone sees me as a nobody. Like, I don't get it. Like,
and she lost by 1 vote to James. And like that's what like people give James a lot of credit, and the credit is deserved, but they don't give enough credit to Maeve.
Yeah.
He lost by 1 vote. 1 vote.
Did you see what just came in?
No. I worry though that, oh God, I think Maeve is going to cancel a vote that is going to end up sending Luke home.
You mean Reza?
I appreciate that. I vote to evict Luke. Oh, cool. So James just voted to evict Luke.
Wait, why is he voting?
It's not the eviction. Anyway, gosh. If Maeve cancels the wrong, speaking of Maeve, she has a power this week, by the way.
Oh my God. And like after all the cheaters were weeded out.
We'll get to the cheaters in the next little bit.
Maeve was so surprised. She was like, oh my God, I won. Like my mom sent it to her, like what was like her pickleball team. Was that right?
He was so shocked, and when she told Alex's reaction to Maeve winning also had to be my favorite thing ever. Like the two of them, no, they're underdogs, but they're not even they're not underdogs having to like underdog is like Juliana or Luke or who have to fight from the bottom. They're like the nobodies that people are.
They think they're lower than where they are.
Exactly,
which is not terrible.
Which is good.
They're humble.
You play better when you play from the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you're playing from the bottom when you're at the top, I think they're in a wonderful position. And
I'm gonna I'm going for an 8 for Maeve.
I'm going for an 8 as well because
Ah,
she's not controlling things per se, but
yeah,
she's in a very good position where people aren't going to target her. She is a great, like, spoiler alert, Ross is not getting a higher ranking than Maeve, not even close. Um, and so Maeve is a wonderful first place for the week.
I'm looking at Maeve's line right now. She's like starts at a 5, then she goes up to a 6, then like down to like a 5. Then she skyrockets. She gradually skyrockets to a
She's on, like,
7.5.
she's riding the
Like,
wave up.
whoop, whoop.
Love it.
A little down last week because she was on the block and she had to win the veto. Otherwise, she could have been going home last week.
I think she would have gone home last week had she not
So won the veto, saved her ass. Good, love that. Okay. Ross Curcio was at a 4.5 for David's eviction. We both went down to a 4 for week 7. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna say. I honestly I think we had different opinions right now. So
Listen, on a game level, I'll get to a game level in a sense. I'm first just talking about cheating skin. Like, after everything that has happened, we're just adding insult to injury with him and Bella. I'm sorry.
yeah,
It's just like, guys,
it was also like
it's not even the actions. The actions are fine. It's a game. But own your actions. Like, for example, Anthony and Aaron are just as bad at talking badly about people or cheating, but they own up to it in the diary room and will say, like, oh, I'm such a hypocrite, or oh, I feel bad about this, or oh, we'll tell people, like, oh, sorry about this. But like I just don't think they see that they're doing this. And like Caitlin said it beautifully. They're joking about cheating. Like, haha, we did it. Glad you found out now. It's just like, no, no, no,
yeah,
no, no, no.
yeah.
I
It's
550 votes from Ross.
which is like ridiculous. First of all, like
It was a third of the votes.
takes 4 or 5 seconds to vote. I want to do that math. I can do that math. Hold on. I'll do that math.
And like we sat there and watched them come in. Do you think we're blind after we preach don't cheat? And then you think it's a joke? No, no. No, no, no. No, no. So like just like that, and like some the whole Luke rivalry.
Hour. Almost a collective hour he spent voting.
Um,
I feel like it's more. It would be more than that, but
a collective what?
like an hour.
Okay. I feel like it's more than that too, but who
Well,
knows?
only an hour spent on the poll itself. I mean, I guess I don't know how long do you think? 10 seconds.
Who
I mean,
knows?
it's
I
a
don't
long
care.
time. The fact that it was a long time that he spent and voted for Bella, like a very long time.
Around the system after we explain the rules, like that's just not cool. One, that's just not cool. But two, when we hear from people that A, cheated, how bad they feel, and two, people who didn't cheat, how bad they feel, and then we see you joking about it, and like, yes, we're joking about it too, but like, come on, sir, come on, ma'am, like, and then just also like not owning up to anything poorly said about anyone else. That just doesn't sit right with me, and the making the game toxic. But it's fine because on a game level, I do think he is in a better position with Bella back in the game because Bella will always be a target in front of him, and now I think Anthony and Aaron are also targets in front of
We
him.
gotta go. We gotta go.
So yes, this is our last ranking. I'm gonna give my number now. Week 6, I gave him a 5. Steve gave him a 4. What was he at last week? 4 average. I'm going to give him a 5.
Mm. The thing is, I think he deserves a 5.5 average, but I don't want to give him a 6. So that's where I'm stuck at. Because like him and Bella, or I guess he and Bella or whatever, were very smart coming back into this week with like, this is what you need to do. like to get back into the game and like make sure people aren't mad at you. So like that was really good. He got out Luke, who was definitely coming after him. Um, mm, and I think Bella always goes before Ross, to be honest. So I'll go up to a 6.
I think a 6 is deserved as well. I just am not sitting in a 6.
It's just hard because hold on, let me see. Yeah, okay, there's that. Like this week, it's just been a bad week, I think, for me. This week has almost made me like not want to do this anymore. Like that's how like,
There's so many people from both sides. Don't get me wrong; it's from both sides, but complaining about how they don't want to play the game because it's hard or it's not worth it, and it's just like we asked you to play, you agreed to play. Don't don't do that. Not when we had to cut other people. Don't cheat our systems. Don't complain. If you like, don't get me wrong, you can be upset, but don't complain about like that's the one thing. I'm all fine with like being upset because like it's friends. It's getting screwed over in a game. Like yes, it's gonna suck at times, but throwing in the towel and complaining that you don't want to play does not sit well.
frustrating.
It is frustrating. I'm putting Caitlyn in the yellow, but not Anthony.
Oh,
I
okay.
just put Caitlyn yet. Sorry. So yes, Maeve takes the top spot as the queen deserves. With Alex in second, rightfully so, and Caitlyn in third. Oh yeah, no, and Anthony's there too, but I just don't. I just yeah. And then Luke at a 2.5, Emma at a 3.5, Juliana at a 4.5, and the rest of the crowd in the 5 to 6 range. So this is where we're at. It's 9:30, and I have to send the eviction. Goodbye, everyone.
All right, thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon, I guess.